Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ian Rachiele, and I am the host of the IJR Sports Show. Now, I'm going to use a quote from somebody very close to me. If you aren't in it, then you can't win it. And that's what I'm going to be talking. That's my main quote that I'm going to be using for this show. Now, my main topic for tonight is that Jimmie Johnson, just a couple of minutes ago, won his 7th championship in NASCAR. He is the 2016 Sprint Cup Series championship. And I'm really happy for him. You know, I'm not a fan of Jimmie Johnson. In fact, my favorite driver is Harvick personally. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Jimmie Johnson winning his 7th championship, tying Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt for the most championships. So I will say congrats to Jimmie Johnson and congrats to his fans, his followers. I will say congrats to you guys as well. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Landon, Emerson. I got to give a shout out to you too, because I know you two are Jimmie Johnson fans, and I'm really happy for you. So congratulations. Now, there was something that happened in the race, and my producer, Karen here, me and her got into a 20-minute argument about this, and I actually want your guys' input on this. During the race, with 10 laps to go, Joey Logano and Carl Edwards got into a accident. They got into an accident where Carl Edwards was blocking Joey Logano on a restart. Carl Edwards shoved Joey Logano down the racetrack, and Carl Edwards got wrecked in return. Now, Carl Edwards even admitted that it was his fault. Anyone who watched the footage knew it was his fault. But apparently my producer Karen here, she thinks that it was Joey Logano's fault. I have a feeling the reason why this is because she is a Carl Edwards fan. And she is a Carl Edwards fan. That's actually why she's wearing a Arias hat right now. But yeah, like, she thinks that it's Joey Logano's fault. Everyone, even Carl Edwards fans, know that it was Carl's fault. He even admitted it. So all I'm going to say is, Karen, it was Carl's fault. You should stop saying that it was Joey's fault. And you know what? Let's just move on from this. I'm going to give a shout-out real quick to a good friend of mine. I call him Rockstar. He's a Jimmie Johnson fan as well. I just remembered him as well. His name is Rockstar. And his real name is Tyler, but I call him Rockstar. I want to say congrats to you as well. I know you're a Johnson fan. So I will say, hey, I'm happy for you. Congrats. And I'm wondering if there's a way I could show this without getting copyrighted.
19, and the caution comes out again. That is exactly.
You know what? Let me do the audio. I think audio I wouldn't get copyrighted for. Now, I'm gonna be doing the audio of the restart that the caution came out for Carl Edwards and Joey Logano. Let's play that clip, Karen. Let's play that clip.
So, Kyle Larson, the outside. Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. The blocking. You go down low. Carl Edwards into the wall. He got tagged by the 22. Big hits by the 19. And the caution comes back out again. That is exactly what we saw Joey Logano was going to try to do. Big fire in the 78. But that is what we thought was going to happen. Obviously, the wreck isn't what we thought. Mark Truex Jr. needs to get out of this race car. Very aggressive on the restart. The flames rolling out from underneath the hood of the 78. Red flag comes out. Mark Truex Jr. is out of the car.
All right, that was the audio of the restart when the caution came out with Carl Edwards and Joey Logano. Now, I will also be playing the clip, and I hope there's no audio of my friend in the background, but there is. I will apologize. But here is the audio clip of Jimmie Johnson becoming a 7-time Sprint Cup Series champion.
Position where he's had to win for a championship. Down the back stretch he goes. 3 and 4. Make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmie Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR championship.
And that was the audio clip of Jimmie Johnson winning the Sprint Cup Series championship, becoming a 7-time champion in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, tying Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. And you could hear in the background my friend cheering and clapping in the background. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy for Jimmie Johnson, Hendrick Motorsports, and I'm happy for everybody about this. And I should really not be saying this is the IJR Sports Show. This should really just be the recap, the Jimmie Johnson 7-time championship video, because I'm really happy for him, and I think that it's great for the sport. It's great for him, and I'm really happy for him. Now I'm gonna do a question real quick that I got from somebody. All right. Someone asked me, anybody watched the NASCAR race? This was requested by Devin. He said, anybody watch that NASCAR race? And yes, I did. And you know what? I think that's great. I think it's great for them. And really happy you submitted the question. All right. Now, let's get into more of this now. All right, now let me get into the sports show. Welcome to the IJR Sports Show. If you just tuned in, I am your host, Ian Rachiele. We're just discussing Jimmie Johnson winning his 7th Sprint Cup Series championship today at Homestead Miami Speedway. Historic event, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Now, because this is Sunday, I do have to talk about football, because that is one thing that you guys really love to talk about. You know, first I'm going to discuss the NFL, because that is something that happened today. A lot of things went on in the world of NFL. All right. So, yeah, like I said, let's get in the NFL. Let me recap the NFL Week 11 for this week in the NFL. The Thursday night game, the Panthers, they beat the Saints 23-20. They're both 4-6. That's the Saints and Panthers. Their records are 4-6 after that game. And then let's get into the action of today's games. The Minnesota Vikings, they beat the Arizona Cardinals 30-24. Vikings are now 6-4, and the Cardinals are 4-5 with one tie. The Buccaneers, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 19-17. And the Chiefs are now 7-3, and the Buccaneers are 5-5. The Buffalo Bills, they beat the Cincinnati Bengals 16-12. AJ Green, he got carted off in the loss to Buffalo, so that is a key injury to people who play fantasy and a key injury to the Cincinnati Bengals. Really, I feel really bad for him. So, yeah, AJ Green carted off in the loss to the Bills. Bills are now 5-5. The Bengals are 3-6 with one tie. Now, the Indianapolis Colts, they beat the Tennessee Titans 24-17. The Colts are 5-5. The Titans are 5-6. Detroit Lions, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-19. Detroit Lions, they are 6-4, and I think they are tied with the Minnesota Vikings for the division lead in the NFC North. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-8. Dallas Cowboys, they beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-17. I was really impressed by Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns on the day. And also in the game, Steve Smith Sr. set a milestone during the game. Wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens set a milestone during the game. So that's the key moments in those. Cowboys, they are now 9-1, and the Ravens are 5-5. Cleveland Browns, their defeated streak is going to continue. The Steelers beat the Browns 24-9. And Steelers are now 5-5, and the Browns are 0-11. The Miami Dolphins, they beat the Los Angeles Rams in Jared Goff's debut 14-10. Rams are now 4-6, and Dolphins are 6-4. And 2 games are still going on right now. The New England Patriots are beating the San Francisco 49ers 30-17. And the Seattle Seahawks are beating the Philadelphia Eagles 26-15. Those should wrap up by the time this show's over, so I will give you those scores when it ends. So if you look at the standings here in the NFL, the Patriots, they have a 1-game lead over the Miami Dolphins in the AFC East, with the Bills still there, 2 games back with a 5-5 record. The AFC North, the Steelers and the Ravens are tied for first in the division in the AFC North. AFC South, the Texans with 6-3 record, and the Indianapolis Colts and Tennessee Titans are 1 game back with 5 wins. AFC West, right now, they are all tied. I mean, the Raiders, they are 7-2, so depending on if they win or lose right now. But currently, because the Raiders have not played, they are 7-2, and the Chiefs and the Broncos have 7 wins, so they are currently tied, depending on if the Raiders win or lose. The Dallas Cowboys, they are currently up on top of the NFC East with a 9-1 record. And the New York Giants with 7-3 record, they are 2 games back. Washington Redskins, they're 5-3 with 1 tie. And the Philadelphia Eagles are 5-4. So all 4 teams in the NFC East with a winning record. NFC North, the Lions and the Vikings, they are tied with 6 wins. So they are tied beside the NFC North. And if I believe, the Lions have the tiebreaker. NFC North, the Atlanta Falcons with 6-4 record. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 1 game back with 5 wins. NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks have a 6-2-1 record. And the Arizona Cardinals are the next team next to them with 4 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie. So that is the standings. And if you look at the playoffs, currently the playoff standings, the Patriots and the Raiders would have the bye in the AFC. The Texans and the Ravens would have the 3rd and 4th seed. And the Chiefs and the Broncos would be the 2 wild cards. Now the NFC Cowboys and Seahawks would be the 2 bye, would be first 2 seeds. Lions and Falcons would be the 3rd and the 4th seed. And the Giants and the Redskins would be the wild card. So that's what the NFL is. Now let's get into college football. Because college football happened yesterday. A lot of things happened. On Thursday, Houston, they beat number 5 Louisville. So Louisville, they lost. That was an upset. Number 20, Boise State beat UNLV. I kind of find it interesting that everyone has to keep on reminding me about that. Because anyone who knows me, I'm a fan of UNLV. I'm a season ticket holder to UNLV football and basketball. So, yeah, it kind of hurts me that they lost to Boise State. But, yeah, UNLV, they're 4-7. And, yeah, it kind of hurts me. But you know what? Let's get into the really key matchups. Alabama, they shut out Chattanooga. Ohio State, they barely beat Michigan State by 1. Michigan defeats Indiana by 10. Clemson defeats Wake Forest. Washington kills Arizona State. Wisconsin, they put a beating on Purdue. Penn State, they shut out Rutgers. Oklahoma, they put a beating on number 14 West Virginia. Number 10 Colorado, they defeated a ranked opponent in Washington State, 38-24. Number 11 Oklahoma State, they defeat TCU in very easy fashion. Oregon, they pulled up the upset and they defeated number 12 Utah 30-28. And as we go down, number 13 USC, they defeated their in-state rival UCLA. Auburn, number 15 Auburn, they shut out Alabama A&M 55-0. But Alabama A&M is an FCS school, so that kind of makes sense. Number 16 LSU, they got upsetted by number 23 Florida. Florida State, they beat Syracuse. Nebraska beat Maryland. Tennessee beat Missouri. Western Michigan, they shut out Buffalo and keeping their undefeated streak alive at 11-0. Stanford, they defeated Carolina 45-31. Christian McCaffrey, 3 touchdowns, 284 yards. So good job by him. And Texas A&M, they defeated Texas San Antonio. So that was it for college football. And as you look at the rankings right now, because with Louisville and what happened there, with the rankings, as you guys could probably guess, Alabama is at number 1, Ohio State number 2, Michigan number 3, Wisconsin is at 5, and Clemson at 4. So the top 4 is Clemson, Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama. Wisconsin's at 5, Washington at 6, Oklahoma at 7, Penn State at 8, Colorado at 9, Oklahoma State at 10. So that is the top 10 in the rankings, and that's very interesting to me. Very interesting. And you look, and I find that very interesting that those 4 are still there. But as everyone all knows, Ohio State, they have to face Michigan, which I think will have one of them get knocked out. Alabama, they do have to face Auburn in the Iron Bowl, and that's something that is going to be very crucial to them. And Clemson, they have to face South Carolina, which is a very, very good, very big rivalry game for them. So for that's it for them. Very, very good, very big. Why do I always get feedback through my headphones? Like, can I ask that legit question? Like, do you guys hear that, or is it just me? Like, I sometimes hear feedback in my headphones, but you know what? That might just be me. There's really nothing to talk with you about. I'll be honest. Sorry, man. There's not really anything I could really talk with you about. So yeah, sorry about that, buddy. But I would invite you if I had something, I could talk with you about. But yeah. Now, as we're talking about that, yes, NASCAR, as we've been talking about that during this whole time, Jimmie Johnson winning his 7th Sprint Cup Series championship. And you know what? I'm happy for him. Congrats, Jimmie Johnson. And he's done something that only 2 other people have done in NASCAR's history, and that's win seven championships. So you know what? I'm happy about that. Now let me answer some questions. All right, who do you think would win between the Cleveland Browns and Alabama? Cleveland Browns easily. Like, this is so dumb. All right. I'm going to say something real quick. For everyone who keeps bringing up that argument, the Cleveland Browns have a bunch of men who are in their prime. All right. Alabama, yes, they are the number 1 team in college. And yes, the Cleveland Browns are 0-11. But you put an 0-11 team against the best team in college, the NFL team's going to win. Just like if you put UNLV up against Bishop Gorman, I guarantee you UNLV will win. All right? Because it is a different level. NFL is way different than college. I'll say that right now. But basically, you're putting a whole squad of rookies, basically, which is Alabama, versus a Cleveland Browns team that would have a lot of veterans and have a couple of players who are in their prime, like Terrell Pryor. I'll give you that example. All right. So thank you for submitting that question, but thank you for answering the question. But I'm going to say this: Cleveland Browns would beat Alabama. Do you think Dak Prescott is elite? You know what? I will say he was elite, but here's the problem. If I say he's elite, then I would have to admit that Robert Griffin III was an elite quarterback in 2012. And I really don't want to admit that because everyone knows that Robert Griffin III had a great first season and then was crap for the rest of his career. There's a difference between having a great rookie year and being an elite quarterback. You look at the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and they are very consistent. Tom Brady, he's a very elite quarterback. All right? He's an elite quarterback. Russell Wilson, elite quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, elite. Ben Roethlisberger, elite. Eli Manning, for some reason, when Super Bowl, he's elite. But when he's in the regular season, he chokes. Joe Flacco, apparently in 2012 he was elite, but that was the only year he was ever elite. Trying to think of elite quarterbacks. I got Rodgers, I got Brady, I got Roethlisberger. Could I say? I don't know. I feel like if I say this guy, like everyone will cuss me out. But can I say Cam Newton's elite quarterback? Hey, producer Karen, should I say Cam Newton's an elite quarterback? I feel like he is. I know he hasn't done that great this year, but you look at all of his seasons and you look at what he's done. Yo, shouldn't he be an elite quarterback? I'm just being serious. Like, I have Newton. He's an elite in my eyes. Russell Wilson's an elite quarterback in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers an elite quarterback. You know, you have who's that weird fella? That weird. That's all I know him as that weird fella. What's his name? Hey, producer Karen, why are you laughing? All right, why are you laughing? Just because I forgot a name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh. Yeah. Let's move on. I look like I sound like an idiot. I sound like an idiot because I forgot who this guy's name is. And then I guarantee you some smart ass is gonna comment his name, and I'm gonna be like, ah, gosh dang it. Anyway. What's your thoughts on Oklahoma? My grandparents, they lived there for a year or two, so I've never lived there, so I don't have a problem with it. You know, if I lived there, and then I get to experience it, then I have an opinion on it. But because I haven't lived there, I really don't know. Let's see, what else could I talk about? Okay, David actually said this is very interesting. Because Dak Prescott and Elliott are rookies and their contracts would be up at the same time, do you think Dallas would pay to keep them both? I think they would have to drop somebody like Dez Bryant or, well, Jason Witten probably would be retired by that point, so I can't say him. Probably one of their offensive linemen that's been keeping Ezekiel Elliott as great as he is. The way I look at it is that they'd have to drop one of them if they had to pay both of them. Like, I don't know if they could afford to keep everybody in Dallas. Like, they would have to give up one of them. They'd have to give up maybe Bryant or they have to give up Tyrone Smith, or maybe Frederick, or possibly Doug Free. You know, they'd have to give up one of them. What's your thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars? Jacksonville Jaguars, they had so many great draft picks, but they have not been able to do anything. They've not been able to do anything this year. You know? Like, I know at the beginning of the season, a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars fans were saying, oh, don't y'all sleeping on them this year. But to be honest, I didn't really think the Jaguars were going to do that great, but all these Jaguars fans kept hyping them up and hyping them up. And I really thought they were not going to do that great, and they proved me right. All right. What was your thoughts on the Titans and Colts game? I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I was watching the Bears versus Giants game the whole time. Which, by the way, Giants, why you got to beat my Bears like that? Like I know I'm salty. I know some people are gonna say I'm salty, but come on, like, can the Bears at least win a game? Like, I thought this would be a great game to win. Like, against the Giants, I thought it was gonna be great. And we were close too. It was like 22-16. And the only reason why we lost is because Eli Manning threw a touchdown to Sterling Shepard. Like, come on, like, can we at least like win a game? Like, we're 2-8. We have a top 5 draft pick, which is the only positive we have right now. We can get rid of Cutler very, very soon. But besides that, there's not really anything to be positive about. Jeffrey suspended for 4 games. Long is out is out. Jordan Howard, I think he's the only guy on the Bears who actually is doing great this season. Some Bears fan will probably say somebody else, but I think Jordan Howard's the only guy so far who's really impressed me. And he's a rookie too, from Indiana. Yeah, rookie. But to answer your question, because I was watching my Bears lose to Giants, I didn't get to see a lot of Titans. But you know, they lost. They're 5-6. They're still in the playoff hunt, so that's my positive for them. Nathan, he says, if Seattle plays Dallas in the playoff, who is your pick? With it being in the regular season, it's very hard to say between those teams, but I would have to say, based off of the experience in the playoffs, I would say Seattle. Because based on the experience that they have in the playoffs compared to the inexperience that Elliott and Prescott would have. Can you give us an update on those 2 games that we're still playing at the beginning of the show? Oh, thank you for that. I was actually just about to get back to that. Patriots, they did beat the 49ers, so they are 30-17. So the Patriots are 8-2, and the San Francisco 49ers are 1-9. Well, Chip Kelly's getting fired. Yeah, Chip Kelly, man, you're getting fired. 1-9 record in San Francisco. I don't care who head coach that is. You're getting fired. Just like Hugh Jackson in Cleveland. I don't care if it's your first year. You're 0-11. You're getting fired. I've heard John Fox might get fired from Chicago, which I would really hate to see, but based on our record, I'd understand that. And the other game that was on, Seattle Seahawks, they did beat the Philadelphia Eagles, so 26-15. So Seattle, they got their 7th win on the year, and Philadelphia is 5-5. So yeah, those were the 2 games that were on at the beginning of the show. So yeah, thank you for that. Whoever said that, thank you. Kind of got me back to that. But yeah, let me answer one last thing before I wrap this up. This guy says I got $1,000 saying that the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl. Well, you can place your bet, man, but I don't know if you're gonna win. But hey, if you, I mean, hold on. If you put in $1,000, what are you gonna get out of that? Hey, producer Karen, I know you've bet on Super Bowl before. what's the odds? Like, if you bet $1,000 on Super Bowl, like, what do you get back? Like, this guy said, I'll bet $1,000 on the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Which, by the way, if you have $1,000 to bet, I'm kind of wondering what else you blow your money on. But not that much of a. Oh, okay. But yeah, you can bet $1,000. Sure. I don't really know if a rookie quarterback and running back will get you to a Super Bowl, but hey, anything can happen. All right, anything can happen. It's a world of sports. But yeah, to recap, Jimmie Johnson won his 7th Sprint Cup Series championship. Congrats to him. Congrats to 48 team. And congrats to the fans of Jimmie Johnson. So that is it for the IJR Sports Show. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, and I'm wishing that you guys had a great day. And come back tomorrow as I will be doing another IJR Sports Show. So I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, saying so long and see you tomorrow.